Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Shazwina Ashikin binti Saharuddin. So today I would like to present to you about our introduction, which is have three. Number one is aim, objectives, and also scope of study. Okay, our aim is to study about local authorities administration. Number two is objective, which is have three, to provide comprehensive services in its administrative area. Number two is to measure the quality of service as a whole by the kind of counter service is received. The number three is to maintain the security and confidentiality of personal information. And more local authorities are enacting by law to control access to such information. Number three, scope of study. Our scope of study, the study focus on Kinta district based on local authority administration area. So now we go to town and country planning at 1976, which is at 172. The at 172 is amended in accordance with clause 4 of Article 76 of the Federal Constitution. It exists and only occurs in the state of Peninsular Malaysia, and however, this act comes into force in the state on a date fixed by the state authority concerned with the consent of the Minister of Housing and Local Government, the states of Sabah, Sarawak, and also the Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur enforce the legal rules set by themselves. Originally, Act 172 contained 9 sections with 59 sections and was amended 4 times between 1993 and also 2007. So, we go next to the local authority background, which have we Ipoh City Council, MBI, which is Majlis Bandaraya Ipoh. Majlis Bandaraya Ipoh is a corporate body established under the local government at 1976 at 171 as the body responsible for managing the Ipoh City area based on local interests as well as the local planning authority under the town and country planning at 1976 at 172. As we can see uh, in the right slide, in the picture is the boundary of Majlis Bandaraya Ipoh, the area of Majlis Bandaraya Ipoh. The boundary of the council covers an area of 643 kilometers with a population of over 720,000 people. As the state capital of Perak, Ipoh has been as the center of administration, commerce, sports, finance, politics, religion, and also education. Now, under the leadership of the mayor, the Ipoh City Council continues its effort to transform the city into a dynamic and become a famous city. As we can see also, in Kinta district have 5 small towns, that is Pusing, Tronoh, Cemor, Tanjung Tualang, and also Si Putih. So we go next to the local authorities council. Kinta district include 8 planning block, which is block perancangan. Each area of which in planning block have their own area, which is planning block 1 have area Pusat Bandar Ipoh, Bandar Warisan, Pusat Bandar Raya, Taman Gopeng, Taman Ipoh, Kelab Golf Diraja Perak, Taman Rose and also Taman Beauty. Planning Block 2, their area is Pengkalan, Station 18, Bandar Seri Botani, Lapangan Terbang Sultan Azlan Shah. Planning Block 3, Simpang Pulai, Gunung Rapat, Tambun and also Bandar Sunway. Planning Block 4, Gunung Lang, Medan Ipoh, Bercam, Tanjung Rambutan, Tasik and also Klebang. Number 5, planning block 5 is Kinding, Tanah Hitam, Cemor, Cepo and Meru Raya. Planning block 6, Lahat, Menglembu, Buntung, Jelapang and also Meru. Planning block 7 is Hutan Simpan Kekal, Kledang Sayong and planning block 8 is Hutan Simpan Kekal, Bukit Kinta.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Farhana binti Zulkifli. For the planning permission process related to Act 172, according to the Town and Country Planning Act 1976, it is constructed as a permission granted with or without condition for development. This is to ensure that a development and use of the land by an individual and the developer will be carried out in an orderly manner and not cause pollution and disruption, traffic congestion, and additional infrastructure load of value or amenities, floods, and other effects. It is not described to the neighborhood and the environment, and it's also ensure that new development is at the good place to live. The second one is application for planning permission. Planning permission gives the person permission from the local authority acting as the development control authority to carry out a development in accordance with the plans and conditions of the permit. The document and plan required to be submitted under subsection 21 1 for planning permission. For municipalities and local council, planning permission is issued by the local authority, which is the local authority. For every outside a local authority, planning permission is handled by the State Department of Town and Country Planning. Second, the application shall submit a development proposal report (LCP), which should be prepared to accompany each application for development proposal within a local authority area. It shall contain the development concept and justification, a location map, and a site plan, particular of land ownership and restriction. The third one is subsection 21C A and 21C-B provide for all plans, particular layout plan and other documents to be provided by a person who is qualified under paragraph 58 2H or a person has the right to do so under any other written law. And lastly is the local planning authority may give the application direction for planning permission in the matter of the approved layout plan. The third one is key provision related to planning permission in planning control rules. The development involves the direction of a building. The local planning authority may give written directed to the application in respect of the level of the site of the building. Subsection 21(1) An application for planning permission shall be made by the local planning authority in form and shall contain such as document, plan, and fees. If the application is not the owner of the land, the writing consent of the owner thereof to the proposed development shall be obtained and endorsed on the application. The first one is legal provision. Section 19 of Act 172 state that no person can commence, undertake, or carry out any development unless planning permission for that development has been obtained. Section 20 states that no person shall commence, undertake, or carry out any development unless conform to the planning permission granted. While Section 26 and Act 172 state that any person who develop in construction of local plans, carry out or permit to be carried out any development in contravention of Section 19 or 20 is committing an offence. This offence is convicted carry a fine not exceeded Rm 500,000 or imprisonment to exceed 2 years or both. In the case of continuity not exceeding 2 years or both, in the case of continual offence, a further fine of 5,000 each day is imposed upon the offender. The above provisions show that the development without planning permission or against planning permission conditions are serious offences that can lead to heavy penalty to the wrongdoer. The second one is implementation issue. Act 172 has clearly stated the requirement of planning permission and the need to follow planning conditions imposed on any development. There are instances when the law is breached. This means there are developments that started without planning permission or not fulfilling the prerequisites of planning conditions. For both situations, there are also instances where enforcement is not being carried out properly. Non-compliance to planning control provision could create far-reaching negative impact in many aspects of planning, including living environment, planning system, urban government, and planning profession. For the possible cause, public ignorance about Act 172 and regulations and to comply with the Act. First, the Malaysian general public might not be informed about the existing and content of Act 172, which require development to first obtain planning approval from the local planning authority. People who know this could be limited to thus invade the development and construction field. Second one is planning approval need acquired before development start. However, do not comply to the requirement. The possible reason could be that these people are discouraged by the delay in getting planning permission approval. Planning permission applications take about 4 months to complete, but there are instances when longer time were taken. And the last one, and the third one is OCS responsible to ensure all planning permission applications are processed by Revenge Technique Department and the local authority within the set time frame. OCS aim in to reduce waiting time from the previous 124 days. For the fourth one is some of the people do not apply the planning permission because they do not want to be tied down by planning permission conditions given by the local planning authority. The fifth one is some people, especially private developers, such conditions are considered rigid and non-profitable, hence they are reluctant to comply. And the lastly is there are also private developers are not afraid to go against planning conditions because they believe planning and enforcement office, especially those in smaller local authority, due to their limited research and unfamiliarity with Act 172, would be able to carry out monitoring and enforcement effectively. Planning authority ignorance about Act 172 and reluctant to complete the Act. The other main cause why Section 19, 20, and 26 of Act 172 are not followed properly by planning and enforcement police officers due to their ignorance about the provision. The Federal Department of Town and Country Planning organizes hand-on lectures on the implementation of Act 172 a few times a year. The aim is to equip planning and enforcement officers from the state and local Planning authority with knowledge about Act 172 and its subsidiary laws such as Planning Control General Rules, which is the little regulation that covers planning permission application process. He said that local planning authorities are found to be reluctant to act on development without or contrary to planning permission.
Assalamualaikum Doctor. My name is Nurildani Binti Said, OSC. The One Stop Center was established to ensure that the implementation of the improvement of the delivery system can be implemented more efficiently and comprehensively in order to increase the efficiency of the public service and stimulate the economic growth of the country. This one-stop center will process application for land development application, Section 124A and 204D KTN, planning permission and building plans simultaneously. The implementation of this one-stop center is a new way to shorten the time period for land development approval as an alternative to speed up the land approval process and can directly improve the system delivery process and land development proposal process at the local authority level to provide comprehensive, fast and accurate service and meet the needs of the people. This is function of OSC. First is coordinate and process planning permission application, building plans and land development application under section 124A and 204D KTN. Second, inform the applicant of the approval decision for the planning permission application and building plan. And then third, make a land application certificate to the land office. And then for the last of function is prepare application status report. This is overall chart of immediate method plan application. At first is applicant, and then planning department MBI and road section engineering department. Okay, this the application submit an application to option KM or UP from the planning department. And then Indah Water Consortium Sdn Bhd. The applicant submit to IWK and option approval. Then work process. Department Building MBI. Once the complete document of the application can be submitted to the building department, the reception counter. Direct review is made on document and application plans. Counter OSC MBI. If the application is complete and acceptable to the applicant, can submit an official application to the OSC counter. This for 8 hours first, and then for 8 hours second. This site visit. Application report prepared by department staff. The application file is opened and a site visit is made as well as a plan review report is prepared. If rejected, the application is approved by the building department on behalf of the MBI. This for 8 hours straight. The plans are prepared for the approval signature and the applicant is informed of the decision. This planning process appeal. Okay, this I kept from MBI Web 2. So this is approval from MBI department.
So the last one is conclusion. The local authority has played an important role in the development and administration of a district. Local authorities are responsible for providing various public services in the district. Local authorities also promote the interests of the local community, including social, economic, environmental, recreational, cultural, community, or the public. The local authority has some very important characteristics that gives its importance, such as decentralization and local peoples and their will. Also, this kind of government can serve as a core function for national leadership in the future. The role of local authorities, particularly those closest to the people, will become increasingly important in improving the quality of people's lives and identifying the full range of popular needs. Local authorities must attempt to predict the future of their respective communities and the direction in which they are the proceed. They must also accurately determine which measures will or will not lead to growth and to the promotion of the community's well-being. However, sources of income are limited and do not always match the requirements. As a result, local authorities must prioritize service in a systematic and methodically. They must also look to improve the efficiency of services in order to free more funds for providing such service. Planning is therefore crucial.